And as you feel yourself in this time and this place, I want you to tell me the very first things that you see, or the very first impressions that you have as you begin to understand where you are and what is happening around you.
It feels like I'm on the moon.
On the moon?
On the moon.
Mm-hmm.
But it flicks between a lunar surface and a more Earth-like surface, like a grass.
Mm-hmm.
I see there's like a rocky lunar surface, but then there's also this sense of a grassy, fieldy type surface as well.
Very good. Is it day or night?
It's both.
What do you mean?
It's like two worlds in one. The lunar surface is
Mm.
the lunar surface is there's no day or night. It's just space. But then in the Earth-like surface, there's daytime.
Have a look around you. What do you see? Wow, how is the landscape?
There's like a hill, a volcano type thing. It's like the surface is separated. So the volcano is on the lunar surface, the moon-like surface. And then there's like a clear-cut line, and across that line is the grassy surface.
I see. In which side are you?
The lunar surface.
Wonderful. Have a look down at the surface and tell me what color is it?
It's blue, bluey dark purple.
Mm.
I keep getting a message about recording. I don't know why, but I keep getting something about recording.
Sorry?
I keep getting a message about recording. Like I keep getting the word recording.
Recording.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I keep getting that word.
Mm.
But the surface is blue, purple, darkish, but with a little bit of a sparkly, luminescent quality.
Mm. You mentioned recording. Could you tell me more about that? What are you or something else, someone else is recording something? What more could you tell me about that? How does it feel?
I think that's not about this world. It's about the human world that we left behind. I think that's more about the earth plane that Andrew's in now, making sure there's the recording. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what that means.
Okay. I am recording, so
Maybe that's what that is.
he shouldn't worry about that. I'm definitely recording. All right. So I want you to, as you're looking down, you said you're seeing this bluish, purple kind of surface. What material is it? What does it look like?
It's ashy. Fine.
Okay. And have a look at your feet now. What do you see?
Bare feet.
Bare feet. Very good. What color are your feet?
My color, almost like a bear's foot, like an animal's foot. Like I don't even know how to describe, like a paw.
A what?
A paw, like a cat's paw or a bear's paw.
Paw. All right. Do you have hair on your feet?
Yeah, hair, brown, black nails.
Okay, so let's have a look at the legs.
Long. Kind of thin. The foot is, a paw is a weird way to just say it's longer than that. It's longer than that, than a normal animal paw. A kangaroo paw.
Okay. Have a look at the whole body and tell me, what do you see?
It's upright, standing on two legs. There's the paw, the legs are long, thin. The body is long. The body is long. Long arms, long torso. There's like almost wings, but not quite wings. It's like a glider.
Yes, please.
I'm getting bird-like qualities, like almost eagle-like qualities. There's like it feels like the head, there's like a beak, a long beak.
And is this brown fur covering your whole body, or you have different colors on your body?
It's brown until the neck, and then it becomes red, and then white, and then brown again. It's like there's like a collar, the red, and then the white. It kind of creates a collar, and then there's also red and white on the back and in the wings. Yeah.
So as you look at the full body of yourself, of your body right now, would you say that it looks more like a bird?
it looks more like a bird with longer legs, more beast-like legs than a normal bird would have.
Awesome. And is there anybody there with you right now?
There's nobody that I can see, but it does feel like there are other presences, not close, more towards the volcano thing and around.
What is going on there in this volcano? What can you tell me about it?
It feels like a center of activity. There's something going on there. There's a turbulence or it feels like things bubbling up there.
Are you close to this volcano now?
It's close enough for me to be able to go there easily. I feel like I could fly there. This is a bird.
Would that be something that you would like to do?
Yes.
Okay, let's do it then. Just fly there and just describe me. What do you see when you arrive? What's happening?
I'm sort of flying over the top. It's yellow. The color is yellow inside. And it's open, I could just fly straight in, but I don't want to. I feel cautious about going in there, like I shouldn't be in there. It feels like a denser energy is in there.
Yeah, do what feels more safe, more comfortable.
Okay. It feels science lab. It feels like there's a science lab in there. It's artificial, mechanical. I'm seeing people wearing lab coats walking around.
Is that on the side of the volcano or inside?
Inside.
Oh, all right.
But I can see that from hovering above.
What kind of people, what kind of beings are there? You said
Humans.
They're wearing coats?
They seem human, like they're human beings, or human type beings at least.
Okay. How many do you see approximately?
A small group, maybe 4 or 5, 3, 6, something like that. 6.
See if you can figure out what they are doing as you're looking up from where you are.
It feels like this. What are they doing? They're carrying things around on wheelie beds, like hospital beds. And it could be other beings or robotic parts.
Have a look closer. Perhaps you can see a little bit more detail. If you can.
I've actually just gone inside the volcano, but I feel very safe, like I can't be touched.
Okay.
Like it's almost like the people in there know that I'm there, but they can't do anything about it. They're just doing what they're normally doing.
Okay, they're not bothered.
They're not bothered. It's not, but they don't want me to be there. but they're not. It's like they don't have a choice. It's like I'm there, but they can't do anything about it. And there's nothing to do besides carry on.
Okay, so you want to have a look of what they're doing, and we can move on.
Yeah. Okay. It's got something to do with robotics. They're doing something with robotics and with bodies. Creating perhaps a hybrid body, or they're mixing robotics and organics.
So you see different body parts, some more mechanical, some more organic.
Yeah. They're doing something, with chemistry as well, as part of the process. There's so much more that I'm not seeing. That this is a big place. I'm just seeing one room, almost like a foyer, a hallway room, a space where people are walking through. They're not stopping here to do work. I'm seeing people as they move things from one place to another.
I see.
There's a bright light hallway. It's super, super bright. And it's pulling me into that space.
Do you feel like going into that place?
Yeah, it's drawing me there. But it's a different energy. This is a much lighter, purer energy from this space.
Wonderful. Okay. So let yourself be guided. And tell me what happens.
It's like I'm being placed in an egg. It's like a cocoon almost.
Where are you now? And how did you get there? Just for me to understand.
I went through the tunnel towards the light. The light wrapped me in this egg. The egg has it's big, and it has like a translucent quality, and it's transported me out of that facility into, at first I saw a giant conference room, but now I've gone through that place into the field. I'm on the field that's outside of the volcano back, but now I'm on the grassy side.
And you said you feel like you're inside an egg?
Where we first arrived, I'm there.
Okay.
The egg, it feels like the egg was a means of transportation. And so now I'm now in the grassy side.
Okay, how is it there?
This is still. There's a slight breeze, but the energy here feels still. On the other side, it is turbulent. On this side, it is at peace.
The landscape is different?
Yeah, so there's grass here. There's a forest behind me here. It feels, I can see the grass. The grass is growing so quickly. It's like the grass is walking towards the volcano. It's spreading itself over the barren lunar landscape quickly. It's like it's taking over that landscape.
Uh-huh. Do you see other beings there around you? Besides you?
Yes, I'm seeing actually the grass is so quickly now taking over the lunar landscape. It's completely transforming it. It's like traveling up the volcano. It's going inside the volcano. And there's a being hovering over the top of the volcano, like an angel-like being, strong, masculine, Metatron. And there's like a light anchoring into that volcano now. There's a pillar, like it's fat, it's thick pillar of light that's anchoring from the sky in this place down into that volcano, and it's anchoring into the depths of that volcano. It's breaking it apart. It's sending light through the walls. It's like it's dissolving that space.
And what happens next?
It feels like it's just slowly, it's gone. It's gone. The volcano is gone. It's flat.
Wow.
It's like it was never there. It's green now.
Like it disappeared, it dissolved.
It disappeared, it dissolved, and now there's just this grassy field. I can see there's still little pieces of this barren landscape that are slowly being transformed, but now there's this sparse space that I really feel like this being is Metatron. That's what I'm getting. And it feels like he's anchoring, he's coming down, he's coming over towards me. He's giving me a big hug.
How does he look like? How does it appear to you now?
He's strong. He's beastly as well. Like so muscular, like huge. Yeah, and beastly. Like there's something animal-like or beast-like about this being. But such a grounding, warm, friendly presence. He's wearing clothing, armor, golden. He's saying that the work is done.
What work? Would you like to ask him to tell you more?
Yeah, okay. What work? The work is being done at a soul level to disintegrate a negative entity and force that was acting upon me in my life. A force that was manipulating and controlling my behavior and my ability to connect in a darker energy that wanted to harm me. However, it is unable, it is dissolved now. We have been able to take care of this. You are able to take your sovereignty back.
Okay. May I ask a few questions to him directly, and you can just
yes,
repeat what he says? So,
okay.
Thank you. So I would like to ask you, first of all, I would like to thank you for your service and for your presence. And I would like to ask you, what is your connection to Andrew?
I am a guide. I've been watching over him for a long time. I am part of his soul collective. I support him on his earthly journey and his non-earthly journey. Earthbound is what I'm hearing. Earthbound.
Wonderful. So you just released, you said a negative force that was influencing him in his earth life in this time. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So how is this going to manifest into Andrew's life? How is his life going to change now?
It will change in subtle ways. He will see things brighter, more brightly. He will be able to trust more in himself and what he experiences as a light worker, in the knowing that there is nothing left to be done. There is no negative acts or forces against him. There is nothing left.
Was this force operating since a long time?
Eons of time.
On him?
It has been bound to him for eons of time.
That's huge, right?
He chose that. Previously, he's chosen to be constricted by that energy. But now the time is over for that. Now that time is done for that.
Would it be useful and appropriate to know why he chose to have this experience?
It was karmic. He chose it karmically.
Okay.
There were evil doings at his expense, and thus he chose to tie himself karmically to this in order for it to be infiltrated, healed, experienced, dissolved, held and heard.
And why now? Why here? Why today? Why was he able to cut these cords and be released today?
Because now he's been doing the work, he's at the right place, the right time. This is the right moment, facilitated, safe for him to be able to release this, because it is necessary in order to achieve the next phase of his ascension.
Okay. So was he aware of it consciously in his everyday life as Andrew?
No, he was not aware of the depth of this.
I see.
He could feel a presence. He could feel a sense of restlessness or a lingering evil or unpleasantness. He thought it was earthbound. It was not. It was something greater. It was something off-site, off-planet. It was tied to him karmically. But now it is not. It is released. He was unaware of the magnitude, the depths, the expanse.
I see. So I guess that that was one of the reasons why he didn't know it consciously, I guess, but that's one of the reasons why you wanted him to have this session.
He needed to have this time now in order to know, so that he can come into his greatness, The karmic, it needed to be dropped. Those forces no longer need to act upon him. So all of the karmic processing has been dealt with, healed, acknowledged, understood, and trusted. Everything that he needed to do and experience from that has now been experienced, and it is now time to tune into a new reality.
What is the biggest lesson that he learned from this?
To trust his instinct and to trust his guidance. To let go of miscommunications. And in order to serve, he must trust. He can trust fully now. There should be no doubt. He learnt to trust, for there was doubt before. Living into the vibration of doubt and the experience of this, he knows now to trust and how to trust.
Wonderful. That's really amazing news.
It is.
And thank you very much for assisting him. I guess you have been with him for a long time, right?
I have so much love for him. He is part of me. I am part of him. I have been with him since the beginning. We go hand in hand.
Amazing. He has a lot of questions today. I wonder if you would like to assist him today, or if you would like to pass on to his higher self. What would be more appropriate?
I will be departing, leaving him now.
Okay.
I'll be handing him over to his guides.
Okay, thank you.
His earth guides. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, so Andrew, just let me know when someone comes into your awareness.
He's left now.
Okay.
I really need to go to the bathroom. Is that something that's going to ruin this whole thing?
Not at all. It's important that you go. You perhaps have to release something. Don't worry. It's part of the process. You can open your eyes softly and you can slowly go to the toilet. I will be right here waiting for you.
Okay.
Feeling relaxed and coming fully back into the state, the beautiful state that you were before. And now I would like to ask your guides to come forth, to come close to you. And just remain open and just let me know when they are here.
They're here now. I can feel them. There's 5.
5.
5.
How do they look like?
They're kind of Nordic in they look like they're from a fantasy movie or something. There's 4 4 of them are my third dimensional guides. 1 of them is from the 5th, or tasked to guide me in the 5th. There's 3 men and 2 women. 1 woman has blonde, light, long, blonde hair, slender, fair. 1 woman has dark skin, dark hair, curlier, more muscular, younger. There's a young man, an older man, not old but older, and a middle-aged man.
So this is your team?
This is my team. This is my team.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. So they are here to guide you and assist you today. They want to answer questions.
They were saying we would like to facilitate you in a deeper understanding of yourself.
Wonderful. Okay. So may I start asking some questions?
Yes.
Okay. So Andrew would like to know first of all, what is his purpose in this life? Why is he here at this time?
He is here to guide others on their journey. He is truly here not for himself, but for others to be guided. He was put here to serve the purpose of the ascension, to uplift others into their inner knowing, to assist others into their own self-guidance and to finding their own galactic guidance. He already knows this.
What is the best way that he can put that into action?
He needs to breathe into his full potential. He needs to breathe into his authentic self.
How can he do that?
He needs to let go of the fear of others judging him or seeing him as other. For they will at first, but then they will understand the higher purpose, and quickly they will understand the higher purpose. They will look to him as a leader, but only if he expresses, and he will express, his authentic self that comes from an inner place.
So he should allow himself to be more authentic and speak his truth.
Yes.
Without worrying about judgment.
Without sticking to the acceptable confines, cultural confines, containers. They need to be broken anyway.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What do you...
He will do this. He will do this through voice. He will do this through song and voice. There is singing, singing involved.
Okay.
There is voice.
Is there a specific next action that you recommend him to do to work towards his purpose?
He should train his voice. He should train his voice by gargling sound, by experimenting, exploring the depths of sound quality. Play in voice, play in sound, in vibration and expression. There is no specific one way. There is no ultimate thing to do. It is just to come into the authentic voice through play, through song, exploration, joy.
Does he need the professional assistance, or he can do it by himself?
He could use one if he chooses, but it isn't necessary.
Okay.
It's already in him. It's already there. It's not a singing lesson. It is different. It is vibrational. It is coming from the depths of his heart and is expressed through their spoken word, song, vibration, poetry. Presentation,
okay. And after he will learn how to express his inner voice, how can he then use that voice to accomplish his mission?
It will begin with spoken word to those around him. He will learn how to embellish, how to ingrain his words with light code. He will learn how to bring vibrational light code frequency through his voice alone. His voice will be able to carry the highest of frequencies. He could be having a conversation and be anchoring light into the other. They wouldn't even know from a conscious level. The light codes that he's been hearing are there for a reason. This is just the start of a channeling of the light frequency that will be embedded into his spoken word, into his voice, into his language, into his song. It will be as though language is his tool, and the language will be known and unknown. The language is irrelevant. It is the vibrational frequency that matters. And that will come easily and without doubt. There is no reason to question. It simply is that the frequency will do the work it is meant to do. The mind will do what it will do. And regardless of how the mind responds, the work will be done.
So he should trust completely, right? Because he was saying that before the session that he wasn't sure if he making it up or not.
He doubts so much. We laugh with him at how much he doubts. So there's just no reason to, Andrew. There's no point. It serves a purpose for you, but there is no reason. And you will know now that the doubt hinders the flow. It doesn't stop you from being the person you are. It doesn't stop your ability to transmute the light frequency through code. It just stops you from living into it, from bringing it in, and there will be no more doubt. The time is now. The time is needed. This is happening. Get used to it.
Let it flow.
Let it flow.
Wonderful. He wants to ask a few things about what some call the event, and from your perspective, how would you describe this event as what?
I'm seeing a shaft of light, a column. The event is individual. The event is individual. It is a collective experience, but that experience is individual. it doesn't happen simultaneously for all. For some, yes, but not for all. The event will take place as a collective. In the days to come, it will be explored, expired on an individual basis. When that individual soul, when it is time for that soul, they will experience their version of the event.
So there's no one fits all.
There is no one fits all. It is a collective experience in the sense that all will go through the event, and all will go through the event at similar time frames. However, the experience of the event will be unique to each. There will not be one experience. There will be commonality and familiarity between clusters. However, there will be not one experience.
Could you mention some commonalities, some common things people might experience? Just for us to have some examples of what that might feel like.
Yes, of course. Some will experience nothing, for there's nothing for them to, there's no experience to be held, for they are already carrying the frequency that the event brings with it. And for them, it will just be a blink of an eye, and they will know that the event has transpired. For others, but for them, it will have been nothing. They don't need it. For others, they will receive a frequency through the crown chakra that will enable them to open their heart space to receive a greater amount of light. And they will be able to see, not in their physical eye, in their mind's eye, they will be able to see the frequency coming through to them as a pillar, a wave, a pillar of light that will wash over them. And they will bask in this. And it will be uncomfortable for some if they aren't open to it, if they aren't ready to receive it in their conscious mind. Yet they will soften into the frequency, for it is impossible not to do so. And for others, they will experience great trauma and pain. For others, they will be asked to leave, for they have chosen not to experience this new reality. They have chosen to experience the dark, and they will remain in that chosen experience if that is what the soul has chosen. They will experience an opportunity to leave, and most will take that opportunity. It will all happen simultaneously, not necessarily at the same time, but simultaneously. The time frame is small, within minutes.
And do you see it happening soon in like within the next years?
It is very soon. It is on the current timeline.
What do you mean?
It is within the coming days. It is within the coming months.
So 2020.
It will likely be 2020 or 2021.
Mm-hmm.
We are saying 2020. Andrew doubts. He's saying to put in 2021. We are saying 2020.
Mm-hmm.
The time is now. The time has come. It is 2020. This is the great year of change. It has to be.
So this has nothing to do with the solar flash. It's an individual event.
The solar flash is irrelevant to the collective in the sense that it won't be the catalyst. It won't be a great tumultuous wave that comes across the mountains and washes over. But for some it will be. For some it will be. For others it will not be. It depends on the frequency that they're holding at the time. It can't be experienced the same way for everybody because we're not all at the same place. The experience has to be felt by the unique individual. And it will be.
Mm.
As a collective of souls, many will experience a great wave. Many will experience a great wave, but many will not.
And what happened to the ones that will not? They will not have the frequency, the right frequency to have this experience.
It depends on their chosen pathway. Some will leave, for they have chosen that they cannot hold the frequency. Others, as we have said, others will experience nothing. For they are already in the frequency. They're already holding the light.
So some have already experienced the event.
Some have incarnated into the planet holding the right frequency.
Mm.
And others have experienced the event, but not as an event, just as part of their own spiritual development.
Mm-hmm.
There's no event to be held if you already hold the frequency.
I see.
You don't need to be upgraded if you're already there.
Yeah. And is there anything that Andrew should do in order to prepare himself for this?
Yes. He needs to breathe in the light. He needs to visualize light coming in from the sky, spiraling, anchoring light, golden, pure light. He needs to breathe that into his being and anchor it into his own energetic field. It will help him to feel more ease during the time. It will help him to feel more ease pre the experience and during the experience. His experience is longer. For him, the event isn't a singularity. It is taking place over time. It is taking place from now. And for many, this is so. For others, it is pinpoint. But for him, as somebody who is aware, as somebody who holds in their conscious mind the ability to connect in, the ability to adjust the frequencies, his will be more gradual, for he will be able to give himself that time. And so he needs to start now. He's already doing so, but he needs to really consciously daily anchor this light. Part of the meditation should be to draw in light from the cosmos and anchor it into him, anchor it down into his being, into his heart center and lower all the way into the earth. Continue to anchor that light. That will assist.
I wonder if there is anything that perhaps needs to be released today in order for him to become more light. I wonder if there is any suppressed negative emotion that is trapped inside his body or his energy field, that maybe needs to be released, and that you could do that for him today. Would you like to scan his emotional body and see if there is something that we could assist him today?
Sure, we can do this. There is nothing that needs to be released. However, there is trauma in the throat. It is something that there is trauma in the throat that is more of an activation rather than a release. We are already giving him, we are sending him the highest of light codes into his throat center. We are sending him light now.
Wonderful.
It is being collected in the throat. It is releasing doubt. And it is done.
Thank you. Okay, can I ask a few questions about his future? He was asking about his career. What to focus on?
He should focus on bringing light, on giving light to others. The modality is irrelevant, so long as it provides a means to share light code frequency with others. His mission is to transmit light code frequency to others. His work will need to be able to facilitate that. There is a passing on of information. His role is to conduit light and pass this into the other for that individual. He must choose something which enables him the space to incorporate this into the practice. It is a healing modality.
Do you have any ideas? What could that be? What technique? What direction?
The beyond quantum healing isn't enough. It isn't the right. It isn't the right way for him. Then there has to be voice and touch involved. He can do this through his yoga, but he will need to change the yoga. He'll need to find ways to bring about a different experience. Perhaps something that isn't already there. It's his own thing. We will help him with this. We will help him with this as we continue to move forward. There isn't something at this point in time that he is aware of consciously that he can tap into, but we will help him find it.
Okay. So it will manifest itself organically in the future.
He needs the time to come into this new identity. He didn't expect this. He thought he was going somewhere else.
Yeah. Okay, wonderful. So, yeah, I guess you're going to be with him all the time, so you will guide him towards the right path, right?
Absolutely.
Wonderful. So he wanted to ask about the work that he's doing with the light codes, and you already talked a lot about that. Is there perhaps anything more you would like to add?
We would just say to not underestimate the power of the light codes. The light codes are everything. That is his reason for being here. That is his mission. There is undoubted power in the light codes to heal and to assist at this time. It will be so easy. As soon as you step into it, the modality will just happen. It will just come.
He said he's also writing them or drawing them. Is that something that he should continue doing? And if so, perhaps share more of them? Or
yes, the writing is training. The writing is helping him to cognize, to ground into this. But it is actually the voice that is important. It's his voice. The frequency is coming through his spoken word. It's the voice that carries the frequency in its most potential. The written is important as a training, but it's not necessary. He could solely focus on the voice and be good.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about his sexuality, and could you shed some light on the difficulties that he had so far in this part of his life?
He's experienced earthly pain associated with his sexuality.
Why did he choose to have this sexuality and these negative experiences so far?
He chose in the earthly body to go against his impulse. It was a choice which exemplified when he doesn't listen to his knowing. The purpose was, at that choice, at that moment, the purpose was to serve and as an example of what it feels like in the body to not listen to your inner knowing and your guidance. That is an important lesson for him. For if he did not, then he would have kept not listening. It had to be loud. It had to be clear. It had to wake him up. It had to make him tune into the knowing that his inner guidance is truth. It gave him a tangible physical experience of being disembodied. His body held the frequency that resisted his rightful path, and he knows what that feels like now. He won't do it again. He won't go there. He's able to tune into the subtlety now because he was given it in such an overt way. He used the experience to wake him up to his divine self, to his divine truth, to his divine nature. He needed a shock. His contract, he knew that this was to take place. He signed up for it. He was prepared. The earthly body, it cannot prepare itself for such a thing. It responds, it reacts. But on a deeper level, he knew what was to happen. His shortcomings in sexuality and relationships have stemmed from this pain and this trauma as he processed. He is continuing to release, but he is holding an emptiness in his body surrounding this.
How can he feel this emptiness?
With his breath, he needs to breathe the love into the cavities, into his belly, into his diaphragm, into his second center. He just needs to breathe the love light into the cavity. It is simple. It is enough.
Mm-hmm.
It's not fancy.
So the breath will do the work.
The breath will do the work, for it carries with it the light energy that he needs.
Mm-hmm.
He can incorporate this when he anchors the light daily, when he anchors the light into his being. He can incorporate breath into this practice and breathe that light into his breath, into his cavities, and allow them to soothe, allow them to soften, allow them to give space.
Would that assist him in living into his fullest and highest sexual potential?
Yes. He will need to bring that space into his heart center. He will need to bring it into his high centers too, so that he can connect fully with others. There is nothing to protect. There is nothing to hide. He needs to become vulnerable to others. He needs to open up his energy to allow others to come in. He's been protecting it unconsciously. He doesn't know. He didn't know that he was holding onto his energy so tightly, white knuckles. He just needs to breathe into his body, into his heart, into his centers, into his belly. There's much work in the belly. A lot of this is in the belly. He needs to breathe this there.
Is anything?
And feel himself opening.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Feel himself opening up to others. He needs to do this. It's essential, but it is also part of his work.
I wanted to ask if there is anything you could do today to assist him in this work around his belly.
We are sending a code down through a stream of light through his crown down. It's anchoring into his belly now. Down further in towards his second center. It responds to the breath. And so it sits here. And as he breathes, it responds to the breath and sends its frequency through the body. It needs the breath. The breath moves. The breath moves the energy. So in order to move the energy, he needs to breathe with us.
Okay, thank you.
That's okay.
And if you scan this area now one more time, could you give us an overview? How does it look like now?
It's filling with light. The cavity is filling with light.
Beautiful.
He will need to continue to do this. He will need to continue to fill it with light. But the work is already done. It's just about bringing it into his reality now.
Mm-hmm. Believing it and anchoring it.
Precisely.
Thank you so much. Okay, we have a few more questions. One is about a guy called Vladimir. He feels an attraction to him, and he wanted to ask what is the reason? Is there something there?
He doesn't like the answer that we've given him.
Would you allow him to express it out loud, even if his conscious mind doesn't approve?
We are telling him that Vladimir is a distraction.
Why?
He is not anchored. He is not anchored into his highest potential.
Okay. Okay.
He is nearly there, but he is not.
Mm-hmm.
He is not.
Okay. So perhaps it's not the best way to go.
He will learn a lot from Vladimir. There is a reason for him being in his life right now.
Mm-hmm.
There are mistakes. We don't send mistakes.
Well, yeah, that's true.
But he is a distraction.
What is the purpose of this distraction?
Vladimir is distracting him from himself. It's a good distraction. He's taking Andrew out of his own mind spiral. He is showing him what's possible. He's helping him to feel into possibility. to anchor more light, the light of possibility into his relationship space. Andrew heard the word distraction and immediately responded in fear. He didn't hear us properly. Vladimir is a distraction, but not a bad one. He will help to tune him back to come out of darkness. He will pull his attention out of the spiral. He is a love of the life, not their love. He is a love. His purpose is tenfold. You can trust. We are telling him that the relationships that come into his life now, they match his vibrational frequency, which is higher than it's ever been. And so there can be nothing that will be of lower intent. There will be nothing that can be of fear. All is as it should be.
Beautiful. So could you shed some light on his fear of losing his libido? What is this all about?
It's irrational. It's completely irrational. It's exactly that. It is a fear-based mind construct. It's not even his, it's cultural. He's playing into a fear of losing the libido because that's what's being shown to him in the media. He is simply organically, naturally changing his sexual frequency to match that of the higher realm, to match that of the higher dimensions. It doesn't exist in the same way that it exists on the earth plane. It is heavy here. But it is not heavy in the new earth, and his sexuality is starting to heal and starting to transmute past the 3D into the 5D realm of sexual potential. He doesn't resonate with the 3D construct of sexual expression anymore. And that is okay. That is part of his reality. That is part of his ascension journey. He needs to stop doubting. It always comes back to doubt. He doubted Vladimir, which led to fear. And that's why he responded negatively when we said distraction. He doubted the light codes. He doubted his sexual potential. It's all doubt. But we've released the doubt now with Metatron.
Wow, that's really amazing. I think he's really going to appreciate it and shift into his new upgraded version of himself. I'm very happy. He has a few more questions, and one is regarding physical. Could you scan his body, please, and see what the imbalance is on his right side? He's having discomfort on almost the whole right side of his body. What do you see there?
We are scanning his body. We are encouraging him to keep talking. For his ability to connect to us comes through spoken word. If he tries to think about it too much, he will get lost in thought. He needs to continue to speak for the message to be clear. We are scanning over his body, his shoulder. His right side is overactive. His left side is balancing that out. He is dominant right-sided, right-handed, but his right side is overactive. He's leading with the right because he's too scared to lean into the left. The left side body is the body that corresponds to his right brain. The right brain, the creative brain, the spiritual brain. He's been scared to lean into that. He's been leaning too much on his logic. He's been leaning too much on his conscious awareness, his rational mind. He is using it as a crutch, because he's scared to fully dive in to his potential. The doubt was part of that. He will see these issues resolve very quickly, almost instantaneously, as soon as he starts to stop leaning on the left brain. As soon as he starts to embrace his creative potential, his voice, his spoken word, his utter truth, his authentic expression to others. As soon as he leans into this, he will see these issues dissipate. They're taking place in his major joints, his hip joint and his shoulder joint. These are major joints. They carry load. They carry burden. This is why they are expressing here, because they are the source joints. The elbow connects to the shoulder. The ankle, the knee connects to the hip. They're the source joints. That's why they're taking the load. He just needs to lighten the load by embracing his true creative potential. As always, it is simple. It isn't fancy.
Absolutely. So long they will stay as a reminder?
They will stay until he fully embraces his utter expression. He will notice them getting better now, for he is already shifting. He is already shifting. They will exacerbate if he dives back into fear, and they will remind him that he is doing so. They are the way for the physical body to give him hints, to give him clues.
Okay, thank you. Do you have any advice regarding his diet?
His vegan diet is necessary for him. He already knows this.
Anything he should be eating or avoiding?
He should be eating more natural fruits and vegetables. He doesn't incorporate enough fruits and vegetables into his diet. He thinks he does because he's eating a vegan diet, but there isn't enough fruits and vegetables in there. He needs more freshness in his diet. More freshness.
More life force, energy.
Precisely. Less cooked food, depending on the season that he's in. In winter, we would advise to eat more cooked food because it is cold. However, as much as possible, he needs to eat fresh food.
Okay. One more question regarding physical. that this one is regarding the crisis. He has the lines under his eyes. Do they have a meaning behind? A message?
They relate to feeling bogged down. They relate to feeling tired and not enough. This is a byproduct of leaning into the left side, the left brain. That process causes him fatigue. It isn't his natural state. It isn't where he wants to be. When he's clutched in the left side, it weighs him down. It brings heaviness into his physicality. And this is expressing through his face. It isn't pertaining to diet. He already knows where he has to supplement, and he's doing the right thing for his diet type. There's nothing specifically that he needs to incorporate. We would say vitamin B6, B12 are the two vitamins he should be focusing on to ensure that he receives enough. But he's not lacking.
Okay, that's great. That's great. And regarding where he's living, is there anywhere that you think could be more appropriate for him to live?
Canberra is his home right now. It is the place where he's meant to be. He didn't go there by accident. He wasn't born into his location by accident. He sits at the Parliament of Australia, and he is meant to be there for a reason. Part of his job is to anchor light into the Parliament House area. Part of his job is to anchor the light frequencies into his decision-making body to promote a better decision. That is the purpose that he is serving right now, and he will continue to stay there for as long as is necessary. He knows that he wants to live by the beach, and he will be there, but it won't be for some time. There is a higher purpose at work, and he has to stay. He will want to stay. If he leaves now, he will know that it is too soon, and he will want to come back because he knows that there is work to be done there. It's important that he continues to hold the frequency for Canberra. Canberra is the centre of Australia's decision-making. It is really important that he stays. He will continue to send light through his voice into Canberra. This is where it starts. And in Canberra, he will inspire others. And in others, they will assist the decision makers to make the right decisions. It might not necessarily be pretty. There might be forceful action. It won't come from him. The force won't come from him. But he needs to be the one to inspire, one of many who have been put there at this time. Many light workers have incarnated into Canberra, just as they have all across the world, to hold light in the political places, to hold light for the people that are making the decisions. For the people that aren't there now aren't necessarily making the highest decisions for those of all. They need the light. Their hearts need to see the light for them to shift, for them to shift, for them to change. It is essential that he stays. He will be there for some time, at least the next few years. We're seeing 5+ time years. He will begin to be able to come into a new place. We would say for him to go north. Go north. He doesn't like the south, and going into the south will not please him. He needs to go north. He said his conscious mind wants to go to the Greek islands. We would say if he chose to do this, this would be a good choice. It isn't the only choice, but it would be a good one. He could also choose to live in the northern parts of Australia along the coast. The place name B, the letter B is coming through. The letter B is coming through. he's not aware of this place yet.
Mm-hmm.
His conscious mind can't form the word. He doesn't know of the place, but it begins with the letter B.
Okay.
His conscious mind is saying Bermagui. That's the name of a town that's nearby, but it is not Bermagui. It is somewhere else. His conscious mind is saying Brisbane, but it is not Brisbane. It is nearby, but it is not Brisbane. It is somewhere else. He need not worry too much about that now, though, for as we have said many times, he must stay in Canberra. It is essential to his work.
Yeah, and it sounds like when the time is right and he will have accomplished his mission there, he will be guided to the next next place. Okay. He wanted to ask about how to accelerate his ability to communicate in the Greek language.
This will come easy for him. He needs to open his mind up to the light codes. Light code is language. The more that he opens himself up to the light codes, the more that he will be able to initiate and anchor the Greek language into his frequency. There is no quick fix for him. His mind still needs to go through the process of learning the earth-based language. For now, this is the way. There will come a time when people can easily learn new languages, but right now that is not a reality on the planet. For the time being, he will need to do the study. But what will assist is as he opens himself to the light codes, as he feels the light codes coming through his throat center, that will immediately also assist him in his other language pursuits. It will be a byproduct, but he will still need to do the work.
Mm-hmm. It's like opening up a gateway.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But the gateway will not funnel him the language. It won't be a seed planted in his brain and then all of a sudden he knows how to speak Greek. That is a reality. But as we have said, it isn't a reality right now on the earth plane. Not for him. His main focus is on the light codes, and then the Greek is a byproduct. If he travels to Greece, he will feel that he is able to learn the language more easily.
Yeah. Makes sense. Okay. So how can he quickly manifest the strong, healthy body that he always wanted to have?
He needs to believe that this body can be a reality. That's his first mission. He has doubt. As we have said, it's always doubt. The doubt has caused him to question whether he is worthy of holding a body that he wants. He needs to shed those layers. He needs to breathe into. Once again, we use the breath as a tool for him. He needs to breathe into this body, hold the visualization of the body that he wants, the strong and healthy, fit body. He needs to breathe that. He needs to envelop that around him and breathe into it. It's like breathing into a new person. It's breathing into his new body. This body won't be his current body. It will be a crystalline version of. It will hold a higher frequency. There is no point manifesting a beefy human body at this time. It is redundant. If he is going to breathe into a new body, he may as well make it the crystalline body, for that is the new body that awaits him. So the more that he anchors the light frequencies every day, he needs to meditate. He needs to bring the light in through his crown into his belly. He needs to breathe into his belly That breathing into the belly will assist him in his sexual and relationships. But he can also use this time to breathe into his new crystalline body. And that new crystalline body is being shaped by his thoughts now. And so now is actually the perfect time to be living into this new body, breathing into this new body. All of these things can be done instantaneously in a moment. It doesn't have to be hard. It is simple.
The ultimate truth is always simple, right?
He wants it. We keep saying it isn't fancy because he feels as though it needs to be. He thinks it has to be a process or a ritual. It doesn't. The frequency of the new earth is simplicity. It is ease. And this is what we are leaning into. This is what he is leaning into. It has to be through ease. The way of the old, the way of the 3D earth is a tireless pursuit, an effort that is so profound in order to manifest. It is slow, it is laborious, it takes time, but not in the new frequencies. It is of ease, it is of lightness. You must carry ease, otherwise you are living into the old earth.
So how will this new earth look like?
The new earth is beautiful. The new earth is glorious. The new earth is much like this one, but it is brighter. It is clearer. The air is clean. The water is pure. Everything is working for you. Nothing is working against you. The whole people are in harmony with the rhythm of the earth. They can feel it, just like you would feel a heartbeat on a friend or on a pregnant belly. You can feel the life force inside. The inhabitants of the new earth will be able to feel the life force of their earth, and they will be in rhythm with that life force. That will become part of them. There is a symbiosis. There is a communication, a conversation at all times between the inhabitants of the new earth and the new earth itself. They will use that in order to heal the old earth. The old earth and the new earth are the same earth. No one's leaving this earth and migrating onto a new earth. It's just this, it's the same earth. It's just a different frequency of the same earth. And so in order to bring about that frequency, the initial way holders, those ones that are already holding the light, the ones that are able to bring more light in, such as Andrew, but there are ones that are even more, though there are people out there holding more light than Andrew is able to hold currently in the 3D. They are already bringing about the new earth. They're already in communication with the new earth. They are working with the guides. They are working with the celestial bodies. They are working with the galactic masters to all bring about the new earth. And so that is a conversation with the new earth. It's not an imposing, it's not bringing the new earth on. It's simply communicating with the earth at present and doing the actions required, sending the energy required, releasing the energy as needed to bring about the new earth. So it's all a conversation. The more that the human beings communicate with the earth, the more that they will be able to use that communication to bring about the energetic changes. They are taking place rapidly now. There is so much change coming. There is so much change already taking place. And that change will be tumultuous. That change will be profound. There is a lot of uncertainty that is to come. There is uncertainty being held currently by the earth inhabitants. In the new earth, there is no uncertainty. However, to get to that place, uncertainty has to be known. It has to be truly understood and felt. And it will be. The inhabitants of the earth are in for a hell of a ride. There is a lot coming. It is going to be crazy, as you would say. It is going to be profound, unreal. It is going to be like a Dr. Seuss novel. There will be so many things that just don't make sense, but there is no way that the human mind can know those things right now, for they are of a different vibration. And as you begin to anchor into the new earth, as you anchor into the new frequency, You will then understand. Until then, people will have to sit with their uncertainty. Way showers and light workers will begin to rear their heads from everywhere. They have been training for this moment. Andrew has been training for this moment, and he is indeed part of this story. There will be these light workers will come forth, and they will be seen as leaders, not leaders above those that do not have the frequency yet embodied. They are leaders as friends, as family members, as community members. They will be seen as people to hold the hand. People will feel like they can hold the light workers' hands so that they can then embody the frequency. They will be seen as people who are showing the way. Those people will be helping others to make sense of the chaos. And when we say chaos, we mean chaos. There is much chaos to ensue. This chaos will not destroy. It will simply change. People need to prepare for this by simply breathing into the knowingness that they are held, that they are safe, that they are looked after. Everyone will have their own experience. No experience is the same, but this experience will be held by the collective. There is no escaping the chaos, even if you are a bystander or an observer of the chaos. Even if you are not inside the frequency, for you are far above it, you will still know and witness it taking place, for it is of your reality that you are within. And so those people that are observing, they need to hold a space for the people that are feeling it the most. That is their responsibility, and that is something that they chose to do. That is why they're here. This will last for some months. It will last for many months, but it will start to come to an end by the end of this year. As you enter into 2021, the beginnings of 2021, there will be changes. You will notice the new structures will start to anchor. The chaos will start to calm down. There's no timeline that's specific. It will all depend on how the inhabitants deal with the situations as they unfold. We see in the coming months much turbulence, much testing, much trial. Things will be flipped on their head. Up will be down, down will be up. People won't know what to do. That's when they need to go in. That's when they need to go inside their own bodies, inside their own heart space. It has always known what to do. There is no individual on the earth plane right now that doesn't know what to do. And when the chaos ensues, they will know what to do. They just have to listen. And for some, what they have to do is leave. But know that the only people leaving are the people that have chosen the dark consciously. If you have not consciously chosen the dark, then you have automatically chosen the light. But if you have consciously chosen the dark and you continue to choose to stay in the dark, you will have no choice. You will have to leave. You cannot stay in the frequency of the new earth. It simply isn't being held in the body anymore. And that isn't a bad thing. It isn't something that those souls should be ashamed of. It is simply part of their path. We had to say that. Andrew had so many questions. We needed to answer the questions for him. He needed to have clarity because his work is important. All of the light workers, their work is important. And right now people are being awakened. They're starting to feel into what their mission is if they don't already know. And this will continue to happen in the coming weeks as people start to experience a little bit more understanding and a bit more knowing. There is so much time right now to go in and to tune in. And we would recommend that all take this time to tune in as much as they can so that they can understand their mission and their purpose. It doesn't have to be fancy. Just come back to the breath.
I'm getting major goosebumps as you are bringing these messages through. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. It's time that you all know.
I have been waiting for this for my whole life.
We all have, even those of us that are off Earth, we have all been waiting for this. This is beyond anything that you could know. Andrew's body is struggling to maintain the light frequency that we are giving him now. For we are holding so much light for you all. We are all watching. This is beyond the Earth. This is beyond the Earth. This is for everyone.
Yeah, I also have heard that whatever happens on Earth, it's going to affect the whole galaxy or the whole universe.
It will. Many places are karmically tied to the Earth. The Earth has been a massive school. The Earth has been everything. It has been the highest. It has been the lowest. It has been a torture chamber. It has been a pristine heaven. The Earth is magnificent. The Earth is part of a global story, a galactic story. The Earth is a key. That is why only some could be here now. Even those holding the darkest of frequencies were chosen. They were chosen to hold the darkness. The lightest beings were chosen to hold the darkness, because only beings of such light could hold the darkness. Everything was put in plan. Everything was put in motion. Nothing is an accident. Every single person here is meant to be here. Every single person here is doing their role. It is brilliant. It is magnificent. It is for all. We are cheering for you all. There is a cosmic applause, and there is so much love, there is so much light in this applause, because we have made it. And yes, it will take time. It will take time to come into fruition, months, and some years to anchor the new Earth in. But we have hit the turning point. We cannot go back.
It's great to hear these words. Sometimes being in a human body at this time is can seem a little bit scary, and I truly resonate with every word you said, and I thank you for reminding us and uplifting us and supporting us, and in this
We want to acknowledge. We want to acknowledge the hard work that you have all done. As you said, being in a human body is scary. It isn't for the faint-hearted.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And to be a human being at this time is one of the biggest blessings. For you are here experiencing this as it unfolds, embodied in the earth. It is a blessing to be here, and we honor all souls that have been chosen to sit in the darkness and to anchor the light.
Yeah, sometimes I think we are 7.5 billion heroes on this planet.
You are 7.5 billion heroes, 7.5 billion light warriors, supported by trillions of souls off Earth. Trillions. The number you can't even imagine.
Thank you. Thank you so much for these comforting words. Okay. I want to go back in the beginning of our session and ask you something that I didn't ask. It just came into my mind before we close. You showed him this life as this kind of bird-like being on moon. If that was the moon, is it appropriate for him to know why he saw that? What were you trying to tell him? Why did you show him this?
We put him into a previous embodiment. Metatron thought that this was the best way. We put him into a hypothetical reality. He hasn't experienced that reality before. He has experienced that body before, but not the reality. The reality of the earth and the moon that was generated. That was so that he could create a scenario in his mind so that he could go into a space to heal the trauma, the past karmic trauma. It was big, it was heavy, it was beyond, it was huge. But we needed him to be able to see this in a way where he could recognize evil. And he did that through the volcanic construction, the laboratory. These are all earthly things. These are all earthly constructs. This is how he cognizes this on a human level. And so we gave him an old body, we gave him another one of his embodiments. One of his embodiments where he could observe, he could fly over, he could be in a safe space. And when he felt ready to go in, he went in. And he didn't have to do anything. He just had to witness. He just had to be there. He just had to know, because the work has already been done. That's why he simply saw the one room. He didn't need to travel through. He didn't know the need to understand on the human mind the nooks and crannies of the situation, the hallways and doors. No. He just needed to know. And then once he knew, we transported him back out. And we could show him how his new light energy has completely overtaken the old, how it has dismantled the old. You could say it was a giant construct, a metaphor. Metatron was indeed the facilitator. He embodied a very strong masculine persona so that Andrew could relate to his strength. So yes, to answer the question, the body that we gave him was purposeful so that he could take the time to observe from afar.
Thank you for the clarification. And I would like to ask you if when Andrew contacted me for a session, what did you hope that he would receive from this session the most?
This session was important for him to unlock the key. He's done a lot of work already, but he needed something else. He needed someone to help him facilitate. He needed someone to help him to see his karma. But he also needed somebody to help him unlock his full potential. And that is through the light codes. He wouldn't have thought so otherwise. Today marks a turning point in his journey. For now, he is fully aware. It's as if the envelope has been opened and he's reading loud and clear what his mission is. And it is of the light codes. He didn't realize this was such an important part, but it is the part of why he is here. To transmit the light codes through his voice and spoken word.
That's amazing, and I'm so grateful that I have been assisting in this today.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Is there any last message that you have for him, perhaps, before we close?
We would ask him and all to hold hope, to hold a knowingness that this is all unfolding for the right reasons. You will need to hold on to this knowing and this hope as shit hits the fan. You will need to do this. It is of the utmost importance to hold on to your inner light. And for him, it is so true. He must hold on to this inner light in the coming days. It is essential. And we will, you will, he will.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.